If you'd told me just over a year ago that I'd be sitting here talking to you about cancer, chemotherapy, and the work that we do for our patients, I would have laughed and said, wrong bloke, mate. But here we are. I'm Andy Kibbeler. I'm the quality training lead here in the Swindon office in the UK. Some of you may know me from my past roles in IT or ChangePoint, or perhaps from one of my training courses. Or if you're local to the Swindon office, maybe you've been to the gym or a body combat class with me. But what you probably don't know is that in November 2023, I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, AML, completely out of the blue. No symptoms, no warning signs. In fact, the day before my diagnosis, I was bouncing around in a body combat class. So how did this happen? Well, back in October 2023, my wife, Juliet, she's head of wellbeing at WH Smith. She was writing a seminar about cancer screening, and she raised a valid point. Women get screening reminders, and men, well, not so much. Or maybe we just simply forget to ask. So to help her explain the PSA test from the male perspective, I dutifully and rather bravely, I think, volunteered, and I booked myself a PSA test. It's not what it used to be. Now it's just a simple blood test, which came back negative. Woohoo! Brilliant, right? But there was a catch. My neutrophils were suspiciously low. So cue a few rounds of blood tests and a fast-track ticket up to the haematology department, and then those three words I just wasn't expecting to hear. You have leukemia. And just to spice it up a little, the consultant added, there's an 80% mortality rate. Now, I surprised myself, I think, and him. I didn't panic. I went into military mode. I'm ex-Royal Air Force. Right, what's the plan? When do we start? When does it finish? 3 weeks later, I was sat in an isolation ward here in Swindon at the Great Western Hospital, starting the first of four-week cycles of heavy-duty chemotherapy, which turned out to be 6 months in hospital. This was then followed by a year of Midostaurin. Midostaurin is a FLT3 inhibitor, chemo drug, soft gel capsule actually, that I've since discovered that Thermo Fisher did some phase 1 work on at our Tilburg site. They became known as the small sausages. Honestly, they were huge. Side effects? So now here's the thing. Physically, I think I got off lightly. I actually felt like a bit of a fraud. Yeah, I lost my hair, and some days it was like having my dog in the room with me. The amount of hair I was finding on the floor and in my bed. But mostly for me, it felt like a bad hangover after every treatment. My consultant even called me his most boring patient because everything was kind of going to plan. But mentally, emotionally, I was so much harder. 6 months away from normal life, it gives you way too much time to think. So here's what I would say to anyone newly diagnosed. A diagnosis like this doesn't have to define your future. With the support of family and friends, and more than a little courage and resilience, you can overcome even the toughest battles. Don't get me wrong, this is not easy. Far from it. But don't try to carry it all at once. Break it down into milestones. One test, one cycle, one day at a time. And celebrate every win. So to anyone facing this fight, don't give up. Believe in your strength and trust in the journey. Keep moving forward. You are not alone. Trust the professionals, the medical teams, the scientists, the developers, and the manufacturing teams. They make these treatments and they get it right. Because of what they do, it gives people like us the chance to keep moving forward. To the families, partners and friends. You really are the unsung heroes. Even when we look strong, we're leaning on you. My family and friends carried me through it in ways that they'll never know. Now, to you, my colleagues at Thermo Fisher. The drugs I took weren't just batch records or boxes, they were lifelines. The chemo that cleared my cancer, the anti-sickness meds that helped me eat again, the Midostaurin that stopped it from creeping back. All of it came from people like you. So thank you. Thank you for the standards, the audits, the clean rooms, the precision. You don't just make medicine, you make second chances. Another message you should take from me today, it's this. If you can't remember your SFLMS PIN, that's okay. At least remember to get yourself tested. Seriously, a 5-minute blood test could save your life. It did for me. As for me, well, I'm still in remission. I'm fitter now than I have been for a long time. I'm back in the office, back in the gym. I've travelled American deserts, Route 66, surfed in Morocco, kayaked in Croatia, and I've been to the islands of Malta and Tenerife. But I ain't stopping there. I've got a lot more lined up. In fact, I'm heading to Yellowstone next week. And here's the thing, I just don't want to survive, I want to give back. So that's why I've set myself some slightly mad challenges. September 27th, I'm going to be strapping an army guy to my back and jumping out of a perfectly good aeroplane, hoping that he remembers the parachute. And in November, I'll be cycling from Vietnam to Cambodia, raising funds for Leukemia UK. I will also be sprinkling in a few combat-a-thons in the gyms here in Swindon if you're that way inclined. If you're around, let me know and I'll let you know when we're doing it. It's my way of paying forward the chance that I've been given, so that the next patient, the next family, they all get the same shot at life. So to anyone just starting this journey, there is hope. To families, your love carries us further than you realise. And to all of you in this amazing industry, thank you for giving me more time. Time to live, time to love, and time to give something back. Onwards and upwards.